Hello. What's up? Who did the music? It's the dudes who did audio for games such as Limbo and Inside. Well, and someone else. I don't want to. I don't like to dox people on Twitch. It's not good. Who don't want internet attention, you know. All right. Actually, oh, we did this part. Here's where we're at. Honestly, it's pretty good. You know, we've got our time view. You can see the simultaneous rotations of the time cube. Now, the most goofy things about this are like, what's going on with this title bar? Isn't that stupid? And why are the corners so rounded as they get big? So I'm going to fix, I think this is the default setting for sub window. So we're just going to fix that. And then we're going to have a get desired aspect ratio. for this widget so it could tell people when they want to instantiate it what that should be. Anyway, we've been pretty successful here. So, yeah, we're just doing little cleanup things. Okay. So I think when we instantiate this, so this is subwindow info color animation editor, and yeah, we're really not doing anything weird, I don't think. So this must be the defaults. So let's see. So this is the background roundedness type. Yeah, relative to width just isn't good. The question is, do we do it from... See, I don't understand this, because the frame thickness... I think we might just want to step through. This is a little bit weird because we might add another field. Enable variable. All right, region background. Rounded rectangle. Before we go changing anything, let's figure this out. Oops. We're just going to recompile it. And dude, so frame thickness is definitely resizing with the window. So either maybe we're changing it, or something. I'm going to close the other sub windows. This is the only one. Oh, well, let's run this in the debugger. I'm going to close the other sub windows, so this is the only one. We're going to go, we already have the file open here. Background, read, what's it called? Region background. Okay, here we go. Draw the background quad. For now, we match the roundedness to that of the title bar. What? So that's definitely not happening. It's not matching the title bar, I don't think. But we're talking about the frame thickness even, right? We're not worried about roundedness yet. So frame pixels, let's just see what that is. Wait, what? Why are we here? I hit the wrong F key. Frame pixels. 0. What? Now I'm really confused. I mean, that's definitely... Okay, let's just make sure which pop-up this is. It's... Can we tell the widget? Why is the render target width and height 1920? Oh, because we start the window at... Okay. Okay. Do we ever put a string name on these? No. Okay, anyway. So what is the rect here? 1728. Yeah, so we're only drawing one thing because the rect is not changing, and that must be our window. I just wanted to make sure about that. Let me pour my tea before it's oversteeped. Mention renaming color keyframe to keyframe, maybe. Overloadable structs. No, we're not. No. Overloading, even just for functions, is such a giant pain in the ass. I would love to fucking delete function overloading from the compiler. It would be amazing. It would make the compiler so much simpler and better. It's just, I don't think practically speaking that we can do that. We're certainly not adding it for other things. Holy shit. It also, it's the complexity, but also it just makes the compiler a lot slower. It's slow. Why is casting? Casting is not slow. Dude, you have no idea how much complexity is added to the compiler because of overloading. It's a fucking lot. It's a fucking lot. Okay. So we're just going to step down in here. What does the shape say? Absolute from theme field, 16. Is that the default? No. I kind of want to add relative to screen diagonal. Like, I don't feel like relative to width and relative to height are very, I don't know. Yeah, nonlinear compilation makes things crazy. Polymorphism makes things crazy, and overloading makes things crazy. And compile time execution in the middle of polymorphism makes things crazy. And you add all those features together, it's complete banana nut balls. Complete banana nut balls. Okay, I don't understand. This is starting out to be a very slow session. I don't understand what's going on. This shape is oh, never mind. Literally, this is just the one that I thought we were looking at something else. Okay. Global rounding radius in pixels. Radius pixels. 16. That seems like more than 16. Frame pixels. 2. What are we looking at? Oh, this is... Is this for the title bar only? No, because... Now this is the content area. How? Okay, you know what I think it is? Maybe we're drawing another rounded rectangle for some reason. Okay, the problem is... If I set a breakpoint... I don't know, let's just see. Like, we draw so many frickin' rounded rectangles in this demo program. How am I to isolate? Okay. Frame pixels 2. See, the rounding flags are southwest, southeast. We're looking at the wrong thing. I don't understand. Because, I mean, the rounding flags on this are all 4. I don't... If we were drawing another one over a rectangle, you would see it would connect up here. Dude, what the fuck? What is the color here? Kind of... Wait, alpha 0. It's kind of a dark purple with alpha 0. What? Literally, what is happening? Maybe that's this part. Oh, that's okay. So there's a few things I don't understand so far, but so that's the actual background. Guys, my brain is not on all cylinders right now. Right. Oh, we're drawing the frame over it. I think. But then so like we draw this resize corner. You would think that we draw that after the rest of the surface, but maybe we draw it at the wrong time and we haven't noticed because it's like always outside. That's a thing that we should like clean up and make better at some point. So we draw the content area. Let's step into that. Color animation editor, that's what we wanted. So we're in the right place. Okay. Draw a resize corner. Pop the scissor. This is doing input stuff. This is all resize stuff. So this is draw the title bar. That's all fine. I don't understand. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Maybe I was too far in. Let's start over. Boom. Same rect? Yes. Okay, so okay. So we figure out content area. This is where we were looking. I guess rounded rectangle must draw the frame as well. I guess. This might be the detail that I don't remember. It says frame pixels is 0. Wait, what? Thought it was 2. Either way, that's way less. Dude, I don't understand what we're drawing right now. Because again, our rounding flags are just the bottom, but again, this is curved everywhere. What is literally happening right now? This is where I wish I could just see the things appear on the screen as you step through the debugger, right? It's like we got rid of that at our peril. It would be so much better if I could just see this. All right, so this is making curved bits for someone. Get rect layers visualizer. I mean, it's hard because you have to fight OpenGL. You have to like resolve the back buffer every time. Like, it's annoying. You can debug it in the NVIDIA debug. I don't want to fucking bother with NVIDIA debug tools. That's like a whole thing. There's no, what I'm saying is, you used to be able to just in your regular debugger step through the program and see the things appear, right? And we changed the way everything works so that you can't do that anymore. And now you have to use all these annoying debug tools that are hard to use and don't work, and that you're not set up for, and that take hours to learn and all this shit for something that used to be automatic. And people don't pay enough attention to this. It's actually really important, and we just don't seem to care, right, as an industry. I mean, as the entire industry. It would be such a difficult project for me to make this work. I mean, maybe if I got lucky, I could do it. No, I don't even know. I don't even know if I could do it in less than like, I don't know. It would be a major project to try to make this work just specifically for this code. How do we get back there? I don't know. I don't know. Because on the one hand, I mean, there are always reasons why these things are done, right? And the reasons often make sense. Not always, less often lately do they make sense. But a lot of them make sense. Like, okay, there's architectural reasons why you don't just see what's happening. But like, you then always, if you really cared, you could close that loop back. And we never do. We never do, and I don't know why. Your school doesn't teach you to use a debugger. It's not a very good school. Hate to tell you. Okay, so yeah, I'm really confused. I wish I could just fucking see what's happening. Yeah, so F0 to F7 are the frame vertices. I'm glad I wrote this comment. O0, F0. So yeah, we just skipped over all that because frame pixels is 0. I'm just going to set a breakpoint here for frame pixels is greater than 8, maybe. Someone is drawing a chunky ass thick frame, right? Frame pixels 35. Oh shit, this is from... We are drawing our own background. Okay, I understand what's happening now. Sorry, my brain, I made individual observations at different times, but they didn't connect. So the color, if I go back, so stupid. If I go back here to this rounded rectangle that we were doing, it's going to be drawing it with a color that's 0, alpha 0. Remember I said alpha 0? Color W0. Frame color W0. So there is no reason to call this at all. It's just drawing a bunch of invisible pixels. Why are we doing that? I don't know. And then it's confusing me because I'm stepping through it and I'm like, eh. Actually, hold on. Because frame pixels started out as 2, and then it gets turned down to 0, right? Bro! That's why. Okay. Okay, so let's just put that in. Okay. So if either if color.w is equal to 0 and frame color.w is equal to 0 or frame pixels is equal to 0, return early out and do not draw. Actually, though, this thing here see, yeah, all right, rounded rectangle now will early out and not draw if 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 the background and frame colors have W is equal to 0. Oh, you know, we should mention our biggest thing here. Added widgets, color animation, color animation editor, see its use in example. Okay. such a bunch of work, and it just summarizes to that. Okay, so here's our sub window is set to be transparent, and then like literally what is background? Oh, theme.background, it's right there. Duh. Put drawing down there. Background theme. I mean, there's a dilemma here. Because A, maybe you want to control the look of the widget, but B, like if it's being drawn in a sub window, which it probably is, that already gives you a background as well. So you kind of, I mean, I guess it makes sense to pick. Okay, at least we know where this is coming from. So that's solved. Now, my actual goal, though, is that I want to solve the goofy ass rounding. Okay. So I kind of feel like this relative to width, relative to height thing is not super good. Like as you resize a window, you generally don't want the curvature of the corners to change, etc. So we could change, so let's do this as well. We also, for the rounding flags, we could just have like south, north, east, and west that each is multiple flags together. That could be fun. But So what I'm thinking is, for the roundedness and the frame thickness here, we have two options. One, we could set it to use the global values, which we could try that out right now and see. Not enough return values. Frame pixels, actual roundness. I don't know. Okay. So now, I'm not sure why this caused us to disappear completely, but it did. What is going on, guys? This is one of those days, I tell you what. What is happening? Oh, this must be that new if statement in rounded rectangle. But I'm confused because why is it firing? Why is, we have cranked so hard on this project, and all of a sudden why do we have so many sub windows? Hold on. All of a sudden it's molasses day. All right. So draw a sub window. Okay, that's the right one. So we go down here. Color is right. Okay, this is the sub window. Oh, because I commented it out. Right. Okay, so what happened was I commented it out and then decided actually we're going to keep it, but didn't keep it. All right. So okay, now we've got a background again. Now we've got, it's very only slightly rounded because nobody is like setting the frickin' globals. Right? We're using the global register, and when we use that, see, now that this is not all filled with border and stuff, it's like, oh, we actually could use more of this space, couldn't we? Couldn't we? Okay, so I'm torn between wanting to adjust our widget a little bit and going and fighting the curvature, but let's finish messing around with the curvature because this may go a fair bit more. Here's the thing. What we would like is if you make a get-rect program and you want to have little nice rounded corners and stuff, they should match everywhere. They should be a reasonable size relative to the screen resolution, right? And I mean, maybe that's it. And they should look okay, right? So the thing is, that means the defaults for any rounding in any of the widgets should not be relative to their own size, because that'll break and get weird sometimes. It means that there's basically two ways to generate that behavior that I said, right? One is that absolute from global could be the default. And, you know, I think there's a thing where if the user didn't set the global value, then we could look at that. We definitely ask if it was set. Okay, but that's one thing is if the user doesn't set it, we could set the global curvature value based on the back buffer size and, you know, update it on any resize. Or we could have an explicit thing that says like relative to screen diagonal, right? And everybody is set to that. Now, the only problem with something very explicit like relative to screen diagonal is maybe we decide we want a more complex heuristic. Because what if there's a very tall, narrow screen and that means something for the curvature, right? Really, I feel like maybe it should be more like the geometric mean of the numbers. Or something, right? What's the geometric mean of 16 and 9, right? So how would you do that? Do you multiply them and then take the square root? That's 12. Really? Does it come out to 12? Right? 16 times 9 is 160 minus 16, right? Which is 144. Square root of 144 is 12. Interesting. There are 21 by 9 screens, so pixel density. But what do you mean pixel density? What does that even mean? We're talking about scaling it by the resolution, right? And what I'm saying is some aspect ratio. Like if you say the rounding, the number of, the radius, okay, the way we're controlling it is the radius of the little circle, right? That's our rounding metric. And we could say, you know, when um, you know, we could say the default is that is some small constant times the diagonal of the screen, right? And why times the diagonal? Because then you're not really getting a different result if the screen is rotated or whatever, right? Because you don't want to be relative to width or height. So, but yeah, like if you have an extremely narrow aspect ratio, maybe you would still find the curvature annoying, even though the diagonal is kind of long, right? And so that's why maybe geometric mean might be better, or maybe it's more like yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could do it based on physical size of the monitor, but what does that even mean? Like, how does that really matter? Like, I don't. First of all, you can't trust that information half the time. But second of all, I don't know that I want a different curvature based on the physical size. Like, I'm not sure that that makes sense. So that's the thing. Now, that said, if I wanted to do some more fancy heuristic, we still could do the diagonal thing for now, and it would be a lot better for everybody for now. So I'm inclined to add that. Let's go look at these for a second. When we get we're setting it based on height. So for all of these, actually, should we do diagonal or geometric mean? Yeah, so this rounding radius is supposedly being set. Let's just amp this up to make sure this is happening. 39 instead of 9. Yeah, so that's much more rounded. So I feel like this is an okay kind of mellow default. And that should probably be the default on everything. Okay. Let's fix a few things. Hopefully that works. Let's take off the no DCE, by the way. Because often okay. So over here in my color animation editor, we could do, when we set the rounding flags, south. All right? That's nicer. And also in sub window, title bar, okay, and then how is that getting changed? Is the example changing it? Because oh, we're literally also okay. So rectangle shapes rounding flags now has convenience members that are combinations of different directions. East is okay. So here we go. So somehow here our title bar, see this title bar is fine. These ones are somehow getting their rounding flag set. I feel like that's something I did explicitly at some point in the example. So let's look. Yeah. Oh, right. Let's just make these north. It's goofy. It's sort of, yeah. Here we go. And then so for the color picker, I'm just going to make it meet by default with this title bar now. So in color picker, where is it? Theme, background. Okay, let's change this as well, by the way. There we go. Okay, so now this is a little more reasonable. This is a little more reasonable. There's too many lines, right? It's fine-ish. Like we maybe should have a mode where like don't draw the bottom line, or you need to decide, do we not draw the bottom line of the title bar, or do we not draw the top line of the interior thing, or yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying. Okay. That might be enough for the roundings, right? Maybe we should go back to working on the widget. The widgy pidgy. The widgy pidgy. Why is the yellow region so small on the color wheel? Because that is what that color space gives you. This is like HSV, and the hue values in HSV simply give you this for yellow. Different color spaces have different properties, right? It's just how it is. If you're a yellow enthusiast, you could, for example, go here, zoom in on the yellow, and then you have this entire band to look at, right? So you could zoom on the yellow. Is GetRect using Sokoban? The editor started out being a different thing, and then I got pissed off at how clumsy and weird it was. So I started switching it over to use GetRect widgets. However, we haven't rewritten everything. So it is now in one of these annoying half and half states. I would like to convert more things over, if only because it's a good way to field test the GetRect stuff. That said, okay, here's a thing. Because I like, I have a certain streak in my personality for programming about wanting everything to be clean and work together and all that and stuff. And so GetRect by default uses right-hand coordinates. So the corner of the screen is in the lower left corner is 0, 0, and it goes up. And there's reasons to do that. But I feel like maybe it's a mistake because it causes people to think harder because you usually, in every language on Earth, you start at the top of the page and go down. Like literally 100%. And so that's also tends to be how you lay out widgets. And I didn't think hard enough about that at the time. And so I think it would be a little bit less frictiony if I did the fucking left-handed screen coordinates, right? The problem is it's going to cause pain for everybody who uses GetRect right now because all their custom code will be fucked if I throw that switch. So I'm going to ask about it on the beta people. Anyway, so that's gonna be a big question soon. Like the more people are in the beta and the more people who are using GetRect, the more pain that I impose by doing such a switch. Maybe top left, top right could be a setting. I mean, the problem with that is then, like, it could be global, but that kind of doesn't work because you're using widgets and you have your own code, and I want to change over all the widget code, right? And If you allow it to just be a soft setting that's toggleable at any time, then maybe all rects need to get translated, which is slow and annoying and is going to gum up the code as well. Yeah, also it is common to use top left. That is true as well. That has never been a big deal breaker for me. Like, I will happily do shit that's uncommon if I think there's an advantage. But the more time goes on with this, the more I think there isn't a real advantage, and that I should change it. You think people writing things in closed beta language realize some things will break? Yeah, and I tell people that in the email. Now, here's the thing, is I suspect if this is substantial friction on people, then maybe they'll just be happy, right, with the change and just be cool with flipping all their shit, right? Anyway, I'm going to bring it up on the Discord and also with the team. You know what? Let's change, before we go back to the widget, let's change this ugly ass title bar color. What would be a good title bar color? Let's see. Something kind of neutral. Maybe like this blue steel from Zoolander. How do you guys feel about blue steel? This might be too, well, won't look good with the background color, will it not? I mean, so this background color is not, okay, so we're talking just about the default title bar color. Everything is blue these days. Well, what do you prefer instead? Brown? So we could do like a darker, or we could do like just this brown right here would be better than this fucking purple, wouldn't it? The thing is, you know, the thing about a title bar, you don't actually want the whole title bar to get your attention. Like, it's mostly kind of neutral space, but like, I almost want these title bars to like have one color and then, you know, gradient to another color behind the actual text, and that would size for the text or something. You know, I don't know. So we could try both of these. The thing is, we need like several frickin' colors. 0.53. I'm going to try blue steel first. 0.165. 0.233. 0.379. And then for over, right, we want it to get brighter. Maybe that. 0.183, 311, 484. For flash, just vary. 413, 695, 840. And down is less intense than flash. I don't know. 317, 538, 650. 317, 538, 650. All right, let's just try this. It's going to be less ugly ass. So we've got the no DCE back. Okay, so now this is okay for now. The fucking outline color is now extra banana cakes. Color Brewer 2. So we're just picking the default that you get if you don't do anything, right? We actually have some themes that you can like conjure up, but I want to do a better job on those at some point as well. See, I want to pick colors for the frame. That, all right, let's, so I want to pick some colors for the frame that are brighter and also just even less saturated, I think, right? So, let's go less saturated and brighter. This could be our base frame color. 321, 374, 500. Right, and then over four three seven 491 618. Flash. Actually, let's do, because flash is extreme. Let's do down. 537 584 695. Whoops. And then flash is gonna be way 734 772 861. Okay. Okay, this is much better as just like a default. It doesn't look good with this particular background color and all that, but like, again, the background color is arbitrary. It's chosen by the thing. This is much better for now. Look, I can do this without all my windows going away. How amazing is that? Okay. So now what do we want to do? I think we take the W. Now this purple is just really ugly. We're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to take the W. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so we fix the thick borders. Now this get desired, oh, let's tweak the color animation editor, right? So again, now there's all this space we're not using because it was like rounded off and stuff. So let's fix that. That'll be pretty easy. iPad Y. Theme.vertical padding. And horizontal padding. All right, well. How is the color picker? That one's fine. Maybe I have some more padding down here. Let's see. No, not draw color picker. Draw color adjustment. Let's call this something else now. Color gradient bar. Okay. That makes more sense. It's more evocative. So bar X, bar Y, area top margin. So we're adding an extra top margin. What if we just set this to 0 here, by the way? No effect, really? Right. Okay. Okay, well, this is all fine. All I would say about this is like, maybe we want a little bit more padding down here between the bar. We're just going to pass that padding down so we can reuse it. That totally didn't do anything. Right, because we literally are setting the H right there, top margin. That's a different, right. I thought that top margin was here because I was confused. It's down here. All right, it's still, we should just go, we should use that screen real estate. I don't know why. Let's just do that. And then didn't, what? We've got some other padding. Draw color gradient bar, middle. We should have like shrink X. Why I typed that colon, dude, I swear. R.x minus equals amount. Actually, let's just do expand X, expand Y, right? And then shrink X. Yeah. Shrink Y. Expand X. Expand, whoops. Expand Y. Okay. Added convenience. functions shrink, expand x, expand y, shrink x, shrink y. Okay, so what were we even doing? Yeah, so I was looking at the gradient. Gradient. Oh, this computation of middle here. Like we just want to say middle is shrink x non-top iPad x. That's all. Okay. Great. Great. Now, so the reason I was looking at that was because I didn't understand why the top margin was so big, like Kanye the Giant. So we're then going to go look in. We're going to look in. Looky-loo. So So I just want to clean up all this stuff here. See, here I'm rounding to integer pixels. Is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? Hello, rating people. We're doing some just a little bit of code cleanup and understanding and making things look a little bit better. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay. bar x, bar y, bar y. See, we could supply a convenience function. In fact, let's just do this. So we're going to say I mean, what is all this? We might need to get a couple of these variables back because, for example, we're using bar y below. We'll clean it up in another step in a bit. We're going to go bar rect is cut top of area bar height. Because there's no left margin. We're not doing any of that. And then I don't know why we're rounding that to, let's not bother rounding that to pixels, actually. Bar height, area.h times 0.2. Okay, bar rect. Oh yeah, we're literally doing this down here. Dude, there's so much ambulance. I don't know where they're going. Top margin. Bar height. Okay. So that makes sense to me because now it's like the same amount, roughly. Like maybe we're doing some extra. Yeah, we are doing some extra pad down in the controls area. This is good. So, in fact, we might want to reduce that extra padding in a minute. But this is like, okay, we actually got the same distance all the way around. We deleted a bunch of messy things. And let's just call that, and that goes away. And then having this be called R is not so good. Can we get away with that? Yep. Okay, so bar height. Bar y. Get rid of that. We'll keep bar height just because it's useful. Okay, so controls area. Bar rect below bar controls area. Equals cut top controls area. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Okay. We had this thing in cut left where we put a margin. But I'm not sure. So the problem with this, I think in the cut left version, Yeah, we split the margin among both of the pieces. And the problem here is like for some reason when I'm going vertically, I don't want to do that. So I kind of like, I almost, if I want to add, I don't want to add this parameter because I want it to behave differently. But I do want to add this parameter because it would be nice. Noise. All right, we'll just leave it for now. There is this issue, all right? So these cut functions are kind of convenient, but you could imagine having them take multiple arguments, right? And then returning as many things as you passed arguments. Because that's kind of all I'm trying to do here. I don't know. Let's see. I just need momentum now. Okay. This still looks bigger. Why am I compiling with no DCE still? Still looks bigger. Oh, because of this. See, we were shrinking in Y as well as X there. Okay, that looks correct-ish. All right, well, you know, if we're going to finish this widget for now, the aspect ratio should be way different than it is. Let's figure out what size window that we want in the example, and then we will implement our aspect ratio thing. So this thing, are we really 2 by 1 right now? Yeah, I guess that's about 2 by 1. So we actually want to be half that vertically. Okay, except we were using the fucking vertical size. Which is not great. So let's go see about. So the bar height. We're just going to do that now. Okay. We could go a little bit less. A little bit less. We could measure this. See, the thing is, I need to raise. Let's actually. Let's ask. Who runs Adobe? I can't say like Tim Apple for Adobe, right? Let's ask Tim Microsoft. Okay, so currently it's like 400 pixels, and we want it to be like 341 pixels, right? .8525. Okay, now here boom. Okay, so that's fine for us now. We can adjust spacing a little bit more later, but now the aspect ratio for this is, let's just print out the number. So guys, if I'm going to report aspect ratios as a float number, we need a convention. And historically, for some reason in game engines, I did vertical divided by horizontal, but I think that's confusing for people, right? So since you say something like 16 by 9, right, I think it should be width divided by height, right? Is that what people typically do? Let's fucking no DCE's back. 4.69. Nice. All right, so let's say aspect is 4.69, and then we're going to get rect divided by aspect. See, that's the thing, is you end up, well, if you think about width first, you end up, yeah. All right. So now we're going to say get we're going to put the aspect down here. So this still maintains aspect ratio. And then now we're going to say aspect is editor theme. All right. Aspect is get desired aspect ratio for this. All right. And here, get desired aspect ratio there are no theme properties that modify the aspect ratio. Return 469 floats. Okay. So now you can query this, and I think I want to make the convention that for complex widgets like color picker or color animation, you ask it, right? Like, hey, what do you want? And then you can set that aspect ratio. So we're going to do that. And then, so here and here. Oops. .81. Okay. So here again, we're going to say get desired aspect ratio, color picker theme, aspect, and in color picker, well, let's go here. Oops. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, so added get desired aspect ratio for complex widgets like color picker and color animation editor. See usage in example. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, guys, I mean, we're doing pretty okay. We've got this very complex functionality that we added in this widget. It's only 1,100 lines for the entire thing. Now, we may add more, of course, but what is going on there? Lines is a whole team at Twitter for a year. You would think so, but not really, because it would actually come out to more code than that. Like, you know, I think a team at Twitter for a year is probably more like 10,000 lines, but that 10,000 lines gives you like one button, right? Like, the thing is, a lot of the people on that team probably do like 200 lines in the year. And then like 2 or 3 of the people make 9,000 of the 10,000 lines, right? That's just how it goes. Okay. So I'm going to check this in and take the W. And then this has been a highly successful project. There is a little bit more we could do. One thing we could do is document it a little bit, like how you're supposed to use this. And another thing we could do, oh, we did this. I don't know what advanced time controls are going to be, so we're going to leave that till later. We could add the alpha channel handling as well, right? We could have an alpha checkbox and I mean, I kind of don't know what's going to be the best thing, but we could work on that. Are there any, while we check in here, are there any technical questions about what we did so far? Any benefit to having an easy way to reverse the keyframe colors or cycling through the colors? I mean, you can think of all sorts of random things that people might want. We don't really want to do those things for our application, so I'm not going to worry about it. And we can just see going forward what is useful enough functionality to enough people that it should go in. Well, I guess nobody has questions, so that is what it is. How does the radius on the windows actually get drawn? No, it's not a shader. We actually output triangles. If you zoomed in really close, you would see it's a polygon. That said, in the long term, we could probably do a better job with a shader because it's easier to do. Well, I don't know. Let's just say it would be an interesting idea to do it with a shader. a little bit questionable in some ways, but yeah. Okay. That you could serialize out to represent the particular gradient being constructed. So if you put this widget in an editor, for example, you might have a button or key command that calls get keyframes and saves that data out somewhere. If you want to get the samples, at the density you choose, this is more data, and it's just a big array of output colors, so it's not something, it's not a form you would want to edit either, but it's also very simple and easy for code to understand. If you want to make a texture or table of colors to control some animation, this may be a good way to do it, especially if on the GPU. The array you pass in as samples should be pre-allocated to the size that you want. Oh. More things to say. You do not need to start up the GUI in order to generate samples. You do need the keyframes in sorted form. Okay, hold on. I've got so many things to do. I want to get a drink. I want to eat snacks. I want to add sorting. What's the plan for actually hooking this up to the particle system? I'm actually delegating that to someone else on the team who was already working on the particle system. The goal behind this was I just had an idea for how to do this that I felt would be successful, and it has been. So I just wanted to like bang it out over the weekend and hand it off, and so that's what we're going to do there. So the thing about the frame of lag is as follows. Usually rendering takes all the time. Maybe simulating takes a lot of time, whatever, right? It doesn't matter because you only render what you could simulate first, right? And simulate includes any response to input, right? Like figure out what happens because of the input is simulating. Now, if you do input and then simulate and then render, then you're basically responding to the input as quickly as possible because, I mean, that's all you can do is like, okay, you see the input, you're going to run some calculations based on the input, and then you're going to do some rendering. Great. Let's say you simulate and then read input and then render. That's the worst possible thing because, well, I mean, you can always make things arbitrarily worse, but that's very bad because you're simulating based on whatever the input was before the last rendering step, which could be quite old, right? And then you're reading new input, and then you're rendering for a long time before you use that input, right? So yeah, there's just a right order to do things. And it's input, and then simulate, and then render. That's just how it is. That is life. Okay. Where were we? Okay, I was gonna have sorting by default because it's like, hey. All right, let's just do that because I forgot everything else. This is so lazy. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's just return them sorted. Fuck it. It's just the simplest. Okay. You do need the keyframes. Generate color samples. That's what we were talking about. I'm going to swap. See, this is an output parameter. We're going to do this because those are input and that's output. And okay. Does it blend? Yes. Great. Pre-allocated the size that you want. Samples will be filled in. Pass in as output samples. Should be pre-allocated the size that you want. Samples will be filled in. You do not need to start up the GUI. Okay, we'll just say that. Because there are options to control how the gradient is interpolated, we provide, in order to reconstruct the gradient properly, you also need to know the correct values for the interpolation struct that was active when the gradient was created. You can serialize this too, or maybe you just forced it to be constant so you know what it is. I don't know. I don't know, man. Anyway. That said, is contained inside getRect right now, so you would still need to import getRect longer term. Maybe we should put it into a sub-library question mark. Anyway, we be documenting. Glad you liked The Witness. I'm glad you enjoyed the game. That game took some doing, I tell you what. We worked on that sucker. Okay, well, that's enough comments to get people started, maybe. Oh, you know, we should go back. Okay, now that, see here, we had this just at an incredible size because we were working on it. Let's put it back at a reasonable size. Okay, that's a little too small. Okay, also, we should pop up the time view window somewhere better. All right, okay, so here, okay, this is finish. 10. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of starting down in the corner. That's fine for now. Yeah, so the time window now. Let's just put it under the mouse fucking cursor. Mouse X float. All right. So when I'm here and I go time view, I mean, that's a little bit annoying. Actually, let's just put it in the middle of the window because that's out of the way of the button and stuff. It's just, I don't want to be putting it almost off the screen like we were doing. All right, so time view, boom, there. I should at least put in the documentation the controls, right? Obviously. So, controls are not yet configurable or hinted at on the screen. Left click and drag existing keyframe to move it around. Left click on the gradient bar but off a keyframe to create a new keyframe. Shift click a keyframe to open the color picker to change the color. Right click a keyframe to delete it. Okay, that seems pretty good. How would one make the window be able to break out of the main window? I mean, that's something we've thought about doing. Like I think DRM GUI does that, and people like it. You would just have to have a way to do it. Like maybe if you drag it off the window, or maybe there's a little thing on the, a little push pin style thing on the title bar. But you would just, I mean, it's not rocket science. You create a window, and then you put it in that window. So, it is what it is. It's not too reliable sometimes because people's window managers screw it up. Yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I didn't necessarily want to get into it yet, is because, yeah, if it's horrible and annoying, then it is what it is. Okay. Well, I kind of don't want to start a new big thing. I'm feeling this whole stream has been a little bit of a low energy stream. Despite that, we fought through all the stupid, annoying stuff. Not stupid, annoying, just more like just little things that had to get done, really. So maybe this is the end of the project for now, because here's what I'm starting to feel like. I'm going to move this out of the file. I'm starting to feel like, in terms of the alpha channel editing kind of a thing, what we should really do is see what we really want. Because again, you can sit there and like program something and guess, oh, maybe we're doing this thing, but that's often not the best. And so I think it'll take some time. Like first we get the color stuff in and working for our particles, and we see how we like it. And then it's like, oh, well, we also maybe want to edit the brightness along this curve, or maybe we don't. Maybe we want a different editor for it. Like I've definitely thought about making a general function editor, right? But that would look different, I think. Although that said, it might be kind of similar to this thing that we did, in the sense that there's an area where the function is. It probably would be less linear, right? Because we're not just talking about a sequence of colors. There's an area where a function is, you get a graph of it, you know, a one-dimensional function. And, you know, you have little handles for control. Like maybe it's a spline-based thing, but I don't know. Also, spline-based things are kind of annoying. So maybe it's like a physically based thing to try to give you continuity. Like if you treat the actual function as a rope and you're like, okay, I'm going to lift this part of the rope up and pull this, it would have to be kind of stretchy. I don't know. But you could imagine that. I don't know. Spline editors are kind of poopy is what I'm saying. So this might be it for now. This might be the end of the weekend project. It's been very successful. I am happy with where we are at. I mean, dude. So probably, you know, tonight I'll make a video for the team explaining how to use it. And that might be the last thing. GG's, everybody. Huge success. Maybe other people in the beta will want to use this as well. Who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna take a break and rest for a bit and chill and maybe go out tonight. Thanks for coming by. I might 50-50 do a pretty wacky programming stream tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if I've used up all my streaming energy over the weekend or if when I wake up, I'm like feeling it. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later on.